Hi everybody, welcome to episode 2 of Skateboarding for Beginners. Watch the end of the video so you can find out how you can win this complete setup. Okay then everybody, so we're going to show you in this episode how to assemble your own custom skateboard. We've got all the parts that we're going to need to put it all together, and we're going to take you through step by step. Okay, so for our custom setup, we've gone with components that would suit a beginner skateboarder. Starting off with the size of our deck, we've got a Karma Lollipop skateboard deck, and this is an 8.125, which will help a beginner skateboarder land their first tricks. Going on to the hardware, we've gone with Fracture Wings skateboard trucks. We've also got the Jar 102A Gerometer 53mm skateboard wheels, and we've gone with a triple threat with enough. We've got ABEX 7 bearings, we've got skateboard mounting bolts, and we've also got enough skateboard grip tape. Okay then, so what I'm going to be using to put this board together, we've just got a sharp blade for when we're going to be taking off the excess grip tape, and we've also got a skateboard tool to help us when we're putting the trucks on. So step 1 is gripping the board. So the first thing that we're going to try and avoid at all costs is air bubbles. They're going to be a real nightmare if we get those in the mix. So have a look at the top of your board, make sure there's no dust on it, nothing that's going to make an air bubble later on. And then when that's ready, you're going to grab your grip tape, and you just want to make sure that the grip tape is obviously the right length for your board. There we go, we're all good there. So the next bit, and it's the bit that I hate personally, is taking off the backing bit. So I've got no nails. So we may need to speed this bit up. Oh, hang on. There we go. Look at that, I like it. Okay. So now you've got your grip tape ready. So with this backing piece, keep this to one side as we are going to use this in a moment. There we go. Okay, so we're now ready to apply the grip tape. So we've got the backing sheet off, and you want to line it up so you're going to get a nice even coverage over both sides of the board. There we go. And drop your middle piece down. So once you've done that, then you can then start to fold over this piece, and using your hand, you want to sort of press all the air out from the deck. There we go. And then slowly work the grip tape up to the end of the deck. Okay, so I'm really happy at how that's actually gone. If anything, to make sure that it's fully stuck down, get the back of the grip tape, put it on top so you're not going to rub all your fingerprints off, and just apply pressure over it as well. So just make sure that everything's fully stuck down, ready for the next part. Okay, so the next part of this step is actually going to be scoring along the grip tape so that you can see the actual shape of your board, which is going to make it so much easier to cut the excess grip tape off. So I've got my skate tool here. I'm just going to use the edge, and we're just going to use the edge to start making our outline really easy to see. Okay, so now you've got a really perfect line there to be able to start cutting and obviously taking off the excess grip tape. So this next part is going to involve obviously using a sharp blade. So if you're a younger skateboarder, I would recommend having adult supervision or getting somebody to help you with it. So what we're going to do is obviously try and keep the blade away from our fingers as much as possible. We're actually going to start sort of going from this end, going towards us and moving the board round. So that's why I say it's quite important that if you're going to have the graphic on something that's smooth, that's going to stop you from scratching your deck. Okay, so we're going to cut in from the side here, get along to our line, and you want to keep the blade at a bit of an angle, and obviously that'll ensure that you're cutting off not too much, but also keeping along with the board. And what you want to do is try and keep it one nice fluid motion. There we go. And slow down when you get to like obviously the curvature of the board, because that's going to be quite a difficult bit. And again, just try and keep that angle of the blade around the corner as you go. And don't worry, because you can always do little touch-ups once you're finished. Just try and make it as smooth as possible. Take your time. It's worth doing right. There you go. And so then you can take off the excess. And some skateboarders will keep this in order to sort of file down the end. If anything, that also does take a little bit of the coat off of the edges. So that's a personal preference whether you want to do that or not. There we go. So what I'm just going to quickly do is have a look around it to see if there's any areas that I want to quickly sort of touch up and clean up. Not done too bad a job of that. Just take a little bit of this corner off. There we go. That's not too bad at all, that. Sweet. Okay, so we've finished step one, which is gripping our board. Step two is going to be putting our trucks on. So I've already taken out the skateboard bolts out of the package, and I've got the Allen key here, and I'm going to use that to push through the holes on the underside of the deck so I know where the bolts will be going through. Okay, so when you pop them through, you want to apply enough pressure to put a hole through, which I'll turn this around so you can see. You want to put enough pressure obviously so you can get the hole through, but you don't want to rip too much of the grip tape. There we go. So again, take your time with doing it and you'll make a nice neat job of it. Okay, so now we've got the holes punched through our board, we can now put the bolts through. Now you're going to notice that most kits will either have one or two feature bolts like this one in a different colour from the rest of the set. A lot of skateboarders do tend to put these at the nose of the board, and it helps make it easily identifiable. Okay, so now that I've put the bolts through the front of the deck, what I am going to do is hold the back of the deck there to stop the bolts from falling out, and I'm going to grab our first truck, and pop that on. Then what I'm going to do before I start to tighten everything is I'm going to put the nuts on just a little bit so it holds it in place. There we go. So you just want to thread it just a little bit. This can be a bit of a fiddly job. Okay. Okay, so you're now ready to tighten that truck up. So what I'm going to do is use the Allen key, put it in the back here, into the top of the bolt. There we go. And then I'm going to use my skateboard tool to then do the actual tightening. Okay. Now what I want to do is just put enough pressure on each one to tighten it up, but not all the way down into the wood just yet, because then I'll tighten them all up at the same time so that there's equal pressure across all of the bolts. Okay, now I'm ready with that. I can finish off and tighten them all so that the tops of the bolts go flush with the deck. There we go. Okay, so I've tightened that one up now. That is ready there. All you got to do then is repeat the same process, but for the back of the board as well. Okay, and so that is the end of step two, fixing the trucks onto the deck. So step three is building up the wheels and putting the bearings in. Now there's a billion different ways that you can do this. You can either use a actual bearing press, which if you go to like any skateboard shop, they'll probably use, because it just means that it gets put in with the right amount of pressure. Or you can use the old skateboarders trick of just using your actual trucks themselves. Okay, so we get the wheels out of the packaging. There we go. And we also take out the bearings themselves. There we go. Now with some wheels, they're actually that soft that you can actually, just using your thumbs, just push the bearings in and then just use the actual axle just to tighten everything up. go. So just get that nice and embedded in the wheel. Okay, so we're going to repeat that for all of the wheels. Okay, so like I was saying, if you don't have a bearing press, then you can actually just use the axle of the truck and just use it to put pressure down onto the bearing to get it nice and seated. There we go. Perfect. And then once you've done that, you can just put on the axle bolt and get that nice and tight. And that's where your skateboard tool will come in, just to finish off putting on the axle bolt. Okay, so with the wheels on, this complete is now ready to go and ride. So there you go, that is our complete setup. Again, just to quickly go over our steps, you've got step 1, gripping the board, step 2, putting on the trucks, and step 3, building the wheels and putting them on the axles. As simple as that, folks. All right then, folks, so this board is now built and it is ready to ride. So the last thing to do is give it away to one lucky viewer. To enter the competition, all you got to do is drop a comment down below, giving us your best reason for why you deserve to win this skateboard, and we'll be picking the winner on Monday. So best of luck, get your entries in. So thank you very much for watching this video. I've been Bobby from SkateHut.